Hello folks, Scott Grove here. Welcome to my acoustic guitar lessons. This is lesson number 2. Okay, last week we went through, or last week, hopefully you worked a whole week on it. Some of you naturally would just go faster than others. So the last episode anyway was covering our D chord and which notes we could lift up or put down. And play this way. So that's what we did, and you're like, we did all that? Hopefully you did, because remember, you're the one that has to practice? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few more things, just some quick strumming patterns on that D, and to allow you to do what I just showed you, if that didn't come to you naturally. And that'll take about 3 minutes of our time, and then we're going to cover a G chord, okay? And a lot of the other kinds of things, just like we did with the D chord, and then how we can soon incorporate both those together. And then after this, another lesson which will incorporate the A chord, which will get us 3 chords, and we can start playing songs. You can play songs with 2 chords, you can play songs with 1 chord. Okay, coming to you. On the D chord thing, I'm going to go to the strumming side. Everything that you were doing before was with your D string on down and then coming back up off of your E string. So there, don't put it there. There you go. Hey, I'm human. Well, close. This is what we were doing, and taking things off like this. Adding the pinky, and hopefully some of you got adventurous and went up to the 5th fret. Then we took off. Okay, now this is a very cool thing while we're on it. This is called a hammer-on. Okay, so if we're picking along like this, I only played it one time with the pick. I'm coming back up, so I went down. So I play it one time with the pick, whether you're going down with the pick or up with the pick. Anytime you want to do this and you want to put that finger back where it goes, you hit the note with your finger off, if that's where you are, and then you do exactly as the name implies, and you put it back where it was, but like a hammer. And you will totally mess this up first few times, but to get it right, it will sound like this. You just sit there and do it with 1 note. Now that's going to be used more than you can possibly imagine. It's used on so many things that you're going to freak. It's just make it a part of your life, as is a pull-off, where you play the string with your finger on it, play it 1 time, then let it off so quick. But you're actually giving, by pulling it off, you're giving a little flick to actually pick it again, but you're picking it with your finger. It's not like you're really aware of it, but that's how the note continues to ring. So there's an exercise for you. Hammer on, pull off. Same on, if you have your whole D chord down, is with your pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E string. So you'll have a hammered on. Now I will pull it off. coming back up, I'm hitting 2 strings, the 2 high ones. So I'm going 1, 2, then both strings, and pulling it off like that. So I'm actually hitting 2 strings coming up and just pulling off the 1 finger, but it sounds great. And now we'll put a hammer on. Same thing, I just did it up and hammered it on. And try it with all your other ones. See? That's the 2nd fret of the high E string that we take off. Now that's actually going across all the strings that are supposed to be played. If you've got a nice thumb, I hope you do. Don't make it hurt. If it hurts, you're again forcing it. It's just something you have to work through, because nothing should ever hurt. Nothing. You shouldn't be trying to be a contortionist, because all this takes 0 work. 0. Again, if you're just hanging on your thumb and your arm is just there, that's how loose you should be. If you're any tighter than that anywhere, loosen up. Just let it hang and put your fingers back on. Okay? So you can actually take your thumb, put it over the top, and place it on top of the 2 strings you're not playing, which is your low E and your A. So if you're not pushing down, otherwise you get. But it's just enough so that if I'm actually hammering away, that it shuts all that up. And that's how that is done. Or this part of your hand, the meat of your hand on your pinky side that is laying on your guitar, you can use that, put it on top of those strings that you don't want to hear if your thumb is too short or your hand is too small. There is no such thing. It just means that you can't do it yet. You're like, my fingers are too small, it won't do it. No. My hands are too big, my fingers look like sausages, I can't do it. No. The largest people in the world. Think about Tiny Tim, if you remember him, playing the little tiny ukulele with 0 problem. Meatloaf, heck of a guitar player, hands like flipping tree trunks, played great. So none of that from you guys. It's your doing, and your fingers are not too big or not too small, not too long or not too short. All hands will work on any guitar. Okay? Anything else is just, honestly, just griping because you're not trying hard enough. And again, it's not that you're trying hard enough to muscle it, it's just that you aren't practicing correctly to get it. Your goal is not being met by a blockage in you not wanting to practice. That's plain and simple what that is. Okay? So now that that hurt is out of the way, okay, again, practice hammer-ons. Okay, and with all of them and pull-offs. There's a hammer-on, pull-off, hammer-on, pull-off. Okay, and I'm using that with like. I'm doing them all. I'm not picking. I could play a whole song and never use a pick, and you'll be able to at some point too. I promised you some quick strumming. Let's do it on that. All down strumming, and I'm hitting everything because I want to look cool, but my pick is never hitting my guitar. Your guitar should stay perfect looking. Again, there is no pick guard, no scratch plate here. There's not a mark on this guitar, and I play it like crazy all the time. If your pick hits your guitar will show it, and it's like, oh, yeah, quit doing that. Your fingers Your hands, nothing should ever touch your guitar. There's no reason for it. And your fingers here you will never push the string to the wood here on the neck. You don't need to put, if you ever actually push your string to the wood, quit. Plain and simple. Don't do that. Only enough to make it work. Anything beyond that simply is wrong. Okay, so everything there, using your thumb or that part of your hand to mute, means to make the top two strings up here, your E and A string, shut up. You use one or both, the combination of them, and okay, so it's down, down, up. When you take off your finger, take off your your middle finger, down twice, up, your fingers back down on the downstroke, again, take that finger off, your middle finger, and go up. Now put it back down and your pinky at the same time with a downstroke. So you have just up, down, up, down, up, down to put some flavor in there, fine. If you want to do it with all down strokes, try it. It's all down. And what that is about is which strings you actually want to hear the most. If you want to hear those higher strings and what they're doing, then you'll want to pick up. But you want to hear these lower strings more, that's what you're going to hear. So if you're playing down all the time, you're going to hear almost of everything. You'll still hear the changes, but they won't be as astute as the other ones, so I'll do it both ways. Upstrokes on some of these to make the accents louder on the skinny strings, which is your melody. See, instead of now it's so if you want to upstroke, that makes your tinkly strings more pronounced. If you stroke down, makes your lower strings more pronounced. So it will be up to you to see what you like best and combine them. That's what makes it you. It will become your style as we go along. And that's a long way off, but some people develop early and you'll have this thing figured out before the next video. And yes, I do only have one shirt. No, I just make a bunch of these right in a row because it's easier to keep your mind flowing that way. That way I don't get too disconnected from the previous lesson. Okay, let's get to G. I just want to get to another one, and all the same rules apply. I just want to show you the chord and which ones to pull off and which notes you can go to, blah blah blah. Okay, so we get to use all 6 strings this time. No matter what your book says, anywhere that you've ever learned, or your best friend, forget the way they showed you how to play a G chord. Here's my way, and I want you to play it my way, and then you can use the other way. But this sounds 10 times better, and there is a place for the old way, which is this, if you recognize it, but mine incorporates 4 notes actually placed down. Low E string, middle finger, 3rd fret. Okay, nice train tunnel. You're gonna need it for this one. 1st finger, 2nd fret on the A string. Okay, All the rest of them are open. I keep turning around to try to show you these arches on my fingers. Looks like this is a pretty good way to show you, yep, right on through. It's like the Holland Tunnel. Okay, go take our ring finger, which this does not show up on people who don't play very well. Put it on the B string, 3rd fret. Get it close to the fret, not on it, not past it. And then your pinky directly under it on the 3rd fret, but on your high E string. See, this way you are actually able to do a regular G chord, which just means just pull that up. Pull up your ring finger, and that's a regular G chord. So here's a regular G chord. If I pull the ring finger up, and if you put it back down, there's a place for both of them, but this is the one I like to use because I will show you why. Okay, so let's get a... You're going to have more fun with this than anything, so I'm going to show it to you real quick. This shows you a variation of some other chords, but more than anything, it gets your fingers changing. I want these 2 fingers. Okay, so your middle finger and your first one, pretend like they're glued together. And I want everything else left where it was, or where it is. And I want you to take these 2, like they're glued together, and move them down 1 string each. So that was on the 6th string, now it's on the 5th. This was on the 5th, now it's on the 4th. So you're still at 3rd fret and 2nd fret. So you play it once the regular G way. Now you're going to move it down like that. Here comes Mr. Thumb, because you don't want to hear that string anymore. There's actually a variation of a C chord called a C suspended 2nd. I will teach you all that, what that means. So you got... I'm going to move it down 1 more time, both of them. Okay, watch my thumb. It changes with each position and shuts another string up. Take out that thumb. Watch it. Laid off another one and back. Okay. This comes off John Mellencamp's Little Pink Houses. Okay. One great way to use that and have some fun with it. And this here's a great way also if you just use the first 2. Really quickly, you have more stuff. You can go from your G chord that's right, your first finger can go on the 2nd fret on 3 strings, the A string where it belongs, on the D string, and on the G string. Check it out, I'll go to the D string and the G string. Here's me without it on the A. There's the D string, Hammeron, A, G string, Hammeron, D string, okay, that's Hammeron, again, So you have all these notes in the middle with that finger. A lot of stuff going on, and we will make more things happen with that. And again, you can leave out that B string where I have you playing four strings, or I'm sorry, 4 fingers. Give it a different sound. Not one I'm crazy about, but you could still. Okay, so there's all kinds of stuff for your G's. Okay, and also. Okay, once again, Scott Grove here with my acoustic guitar lessons. I will see you on the next one. We'll finish up the G's and go to the A. You guys, take care.